Hi everyone, this is Jess from the Knit Knack Shop. Today we are going to learn how to do a single crochet. So for this tutorial you need your ball of yarn. I am using Lion's brand worsted weight yarn, and I'm using my size H crochet hook, and it is the brand BOYE, Boy, and it's aluminum. So the first thing that we're going to do before the single crochet is you need to do your slip knot and do your foundation chain, which I taught in an earlier video, but just as a quick reminder, it is basically yarning over until you have the number that you need. And usually in a pattern, it will say chain 10, chain 15, something like that. So since I'm not really working on a pattern, I am just going to do 10. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10. So here's my foundation chain of 10. And what you'll see is there is a piece of yarn on the top, and then there's a space, and then a piece of yarn on the bottom. So I'm kind of going to open it a little so you can see. And the reason I'm showing these little spaces is because that is where your crochet hook is going to go into when you actually do your single crochet. So the first step of single crochet is that you're skipping this space right next to the hook. You're going to go to the one over, and it'll usually say in the pattern single crochet in the second chain from the hook. So you're kind of just skipping that. So you take your hook, you insert it into the hole. So right now you have your foundation chain here, your little loop here, and you're going through this space. You're taking your yarn, you're wrapping it to the front, almost like a yarn over. You're pulling it through. So you have 2 loops on your chain. This is not done yet. This is not a single crochet. You have to yarn over. So remember, that is back to front. Pull it through both of the loops, not just one. You're pulling it through both, so you end up with just one, and that is a single crochet. Let's do that again. So here's your empty space where you're going to put your crochet hook. Goes in. And if you'll notice where I'm holding the yarn, it's already in place to just pull straight through. So you end up with 2 on your hook. 1, 2. Yarn over. Pull it through both loops. And that finishes your single crochet. So I'm going to do this a couple of times. I'm going to go super slow so you can see it. Pulling it through. Yarning over. Back to front, pulling it through the loops. Now, if you are a little stuck and it's only going through one, just do through one at a time. So I pulled it through the first one, now I pulled it through the second one. So I'm just going to keep going. And this is one of the reasons we say to make sure that when you're doing your foundation chain, to make sure it's not too tight. Because as you can see, my hook is really going through pretty easily, but the tighter you leave your foundation chain, the harder it is to get this hook through that hole. So again, I'm going through, I'm pulling that yarn through, doing a yarn over, back to front, pulling it through both of the loops. And then when you get to the end, so this is second to last. No, this is the last one. It's a little tricky to get in this one sometimes. It's going to be a little bit tighter because it's right near the end. So I'm just going to pull this out a little bit so I can show you. This is what it looks like when it's all done. And I want to show you because sometimes it's hard to know if you've completed all your stitches. This is how you count them. See this little V here? That's 1 stitch. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and this last one is the one that we're still in, and that's 9. Now you might be saying to yourself, wait a minute, we started with 10. The reason is because remember when we first started, we skipped that first one and we went into the second one. So you lost a chain in there. So if you're crocheting and you're in a pattern and you realize that you're one short, that's okay. That's supposed to be like that. So let me show you what happens, because if you're making a scarf or if you're doing, something, you need to keep going and keep building on the single crochets that you've already done. So the way that you get to the other side is you chain one. So that's, again, doing a yarn over. So you're going back to front, chain one. And it'll tell you in the pattern to do that. Then you have to flip it to the back. So this is the side you were just working on. You're flipping it. So this is what the back looks like. It's a little more rounded and it's a little trickier to see the spaces. I'm going to kind of stretch this out a little bit so you can see. The space that you're going to go into is this empty little space between this top single crochet that you did and the one underneath it. See that hole? I'm really pulling it so you can see it. It'll be, see those right in that space? That is where you're going to put your next row. Sorry about that cough. Okay, so in you go. So we're going to start here. Insert your hook. Pull the yarn through. You have 2 loops. This is from your chain, and this is the one that you just pulled through. Yarn over, and oops, pull it through. And you're just going to do the same thing. It's just a matter of finding those empty spaces and pulling through. Pull the yarn, yarn over, pull it through the loops. Insert your hook, yarn over through both loops. So here's that hole again. See that empty space? So I'm just going to go across. And depending on what you're making, if you're making a, something square like a coaster or a dishcloth or something like that, the pattern will tell you how many times to turn the piece and to keep going. And this is the last one. So now if it were, a scarf, you'd probably just keep going, and you're going to do the same thing until you reach the length that you desire, that the pattern asks for. And again, if you think that you may have missed a stitch somewhere, or you think you might have added one, which can be really easy to do in the beginning, just go and remember to count the V's and see how many there are. So let's check to make sure we have enough. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and the last one makes 9. So I have all my stitches. If I need to keep going, I'm just going to do the same thing. I'm going to yarn over, chain 1, and then turn it. So now I'm working back on this side, and I would just keep going. And that's really all there is to single crochet. So I hope that you guys found this helpful. I would just keep on practicing until, you feel more comfortable with it. You can always rewind this video and watch it again. But thanks for watching.